YouTube, what is good? This is AJ Flame with my Phantom Knights deck list that I have been running actually forever now. And although we're still working out the kinks, this is the one I used in locals today. I think I did fairly well against that. I only lost against what was it? Dragon Link. Well, because he had enough extenders to extend through all my interruptions. And Shaddoll invoked Dogmatica Eldritch. It's a lot of names and a lot of engines. A lot of engines just make a deck apparently. But anyway, let's go ahead and get right into this. We're gonna go ahead and start with the main deck. We're gonna go with the core right here, starting with the Phantom Knights monsters themselves. 3 Torn Scales. Torn Scales is amazing. I literally saw him all the time. Well, I mean, in starting hands or just either going through the combos and everything. I'll move this over here to get a better view. And he's amazing, discards 1 for cost, which can be huge. That 1 discard can really help with plays, even if it does end up getting ashed or effects negated. It's amazing. He's amazing. And that ability to come back even on your opponent's turn if you banish a Fog Blade in the end phase, and it helps you with playing around special summon numbers and everything like that. It is just an amazing card. Now, unlike other lists who run 2 of this, I run 3 Cloak. Now, admittedly, 3 Cloak does get a little clunky at times, and I mean, but having Cloak in hand can also be a very, very good discard for Torn Scales. So in that sense, you don't really have to dump Cloak. You could dump something else like Phantom Knight's Wing or Ragged Gloves, so you can go ahead and figure out which line of play you want to go down. If you want to banish, send a boost and add and everything. So many different play lines. This deck. That's why I'll get into that a little bit more later. But for now, let's keep going with the profile. We have 3 Silent Boots. Love him. He's free in the deck, because most of the time, pretty much every turn, you're gonna have it, unless you get interrupted to the point where you don't have a Phantom Knights monster on the field, which is very, very unlikely. He is free and he helps you extend combos and go even larger, and it also helps you add all of those spell and traps, especially Fog Blades and the Rake Up spell. Now keep in mind with Ancient Cloak, although you have that banish effect to add, keep in mind that it is a card that has the Phantom Knights in it. So Cloak cannot add Fog Blade or the Rank Up spell. So just keep that in mind. And now for the 2 O's and the Knights, we're gonna go ahead and go 2 Ragged Gloves and 2 Stained Greaves. Now, a lot of people usually only play 1 Greaves and 1 Gloves. The reason why I like having 2 of each of these is that obviously Gloves gets you that 1,000 increase, but what Gloves also does is a Foolish Burial for pretty much any card in your deck, because it is due to Knight's text. Ragged Gloves text. It has that stipulation where it just says Phantom Knights, so that applies to every single Phantom Knight card in your deck. And Stained Greaves is very good because it's, again, another extender. If you special summon that Phantom Knights card, you can just special it from your hand if you have it in your hand. Which, funny enough, I did not draw at all today, which is kind of weird because I usually always see it in in an opening hand. I drew Torn Scales every match today, which was nice, but not at the same time. Because if you normal summon Torn Scales, you don't have a full combo. Torn Scales himself is not full combo. You need extenders with that. And speaking of extenders, we're gonna move on over. That is the main Phantom. That is the Phantom Knights core right there. I'm gonna go ahead and put this over here. All right. Next we have our extenders or play starters, however you want to call them. Now, I'm going to get a lot of people are going to yell at me for this one, but I only run 2 Tour Guide. Now, I know I'm going to get yelled at, but here's the reason I run 2. I don't have a third. And yeah, that's it, honestly. If I had a third, I would most likely be running the third. And same with this one too. People are gonna get mad at me for this one too, but also to Kagemuchi Knight, because I honestly do not know where my third one went. I had a third one in the secret rarity, but I honestly do not know where it went. And I can't find it for the life of me, so right now I'm playing two until I buy another one. And now those are the two ofs for extenders. And now what we're gonna go ahead and do, oh, that's my shadow. Next, we're going to go ahead and go off with the one of. So we also do, since we do run the tour guides, we run Graph and Seer. Okay, for just one of each, standard combos and stuff like that. I didn't really use them a lot, because if I do that off the Cherubini effect, then I can just be ashed on Graft's effect to get Seer, and then my combo's pretty much stopped unless I have some sort of way to get Torrent Scales back onto the field if it's not in the graveyard already. So that's the main problem with that engine, which is why sometimes I do honestly think about cutting it and then just making it pure Phantom Knights with extenders. So it would just be dropping these two cards in particular. And now, keeping up with the 1-0s, we have one Wielder, one Tsuchinoko. The reason I want to say it right now, I don't run Jackalope because I do not own Jackalope. Although I could probably buy it for like maybe $1, maybe $5. I don't know, but I just don't own Jackalope. If I did, I would definitely run Jackalope. Now, here's something interesting that I personally run that I don't really see in other lists that can honestly net you a full combo if you just draw it. Terratop and Takaborg. These two Speedroids literally make full combo. If I have Speedroid in my hand, I could just straight up just special Speedroid at Takaborg, and I have full combo just from Terratop, honestly. Because it's free if I control them much, it's a special limit, and then search Takaborg, and then I just go off to the races. And plus, I don't waste my normal summon at all, which is really nice. So if I get stopped, let's say I get into Nibiru mid combo, I can go ahead and I still have that normal summon available to me, which is very, very, very nice. And for the last of my extenders, I play one Psychic Wielder. Psychic Tracker, excuse me. I already put Wielder in. And obviously just another free level 3 extender, because of same stipulation as Wielder. If you control level 3, special summon him. Well, you can if you want to. And for hand traps, just real simple. 3 Ash and 3 Bell. Funniest thing, every time I play in like major events with this deck, I always see Bell and I never see Ash. But today I saw Ash so much more than I saw Bell. And at times it was kind of bothered me. And I saw Bell when I really needed it, like when I think it was my first or second round. Yeah, first round. My opponent tried to IDP me, and I was just like, okay, Bell engrave, not happening, which was really, really nice and very convenient. So that's why I like having Bell in here. Other than the Bell slot can be any hand trap that you want. I personally just like Bell in here better, just as a starting point, because obviously you can side her out also. And like in this, you have a lot of side options that you could take out for consistency, or if you want to play more heavier, things like that. Onto the spells. Our spells are all just 1-ofs, and that would be 1-up with the rank up spell, Rhoda, Foolish Burial, Called By, and Monster Reborn. This is my spell on it. This is it. As you can see, no Red Ice Fusion because I don't run Dragoon. Okay, I can play this deck without Dragoon and do very well without Dragoon. So no Dragoon needed, no Dragoon in this deck at all. And plus it makes it a better priced as also, because no Dragoon or Verte Anaconda, because those cards are very, very expensive, both of them. Although you can get Red Ice Fusion and Dark Magician and Red Ice Black Dragon easy, because they're reprinted so many times. But am I gonna go on my way to get Dragoon and Predaplant Verte Anaconda? Absolutely not. So this is what I do instead. That is my spell lineup. And now for my traps, just real basic. I'm not gonna lie to you. Triple Fog Blade. Don't yell at me for my mixed max rarities. I couldn't get my hands on another ulti. I want to cry. I mean ultra, excuse me. And the last two would be Wing and Shade Brigandine. Now I love having Wing in the deck, except when I drew it, and I drew it a lot of the time when I was playing. And I've honestly been thinking about cutting Brigandine for something else. I'm not sure. 100%. Possibly another extender. I'm not 100% sure on that, because when I needed at least any level 3 monster, I ended up drawing Shade Brigandine. And I wanted to cry. But Wing, I absolutely adore having Wing in the deck. I would not take it out for anything, because it is a special summon target, and if you do end up having it in your hand or your first turn, or if you draw it, you can set it and it protects your monster for 1 destruction, which is nice. So which means your opponent has to use more resources to get rid of a monster unless they ban that shit, which most cases might not happen. Bounce back, which is another thing. You could side it out if you're playing against Dragon Link, just in case they try to just in case they sphere it. While they're trying to sphere your monster, and you're like, oh, I can't do anything, might as well send it to the graveyard, activate it, yada. Or you could try to keep your monster on the field, which is also nice. But that rounds up the main deck. And now what we're going to go ahead and do, we're going to go ahead and head over to the extra deck and tell you how I run it. But for the most part, my extra is pretty standard. We have 1 Bardiche, obviously the main stake, pretty much the card. He gets you your Fog Blade stumps, puts Phantom Knights in the graves, just pops cards. I mean, what else do you want him to do? Beautiful, the perfect Link monster, in my opinion. Cherubini, I Link 2. I love Cherubini. He just does everything for me, and the fact that he sends as a cost is amazing, because Cherubini's actual effect is to gain attack, so you could go ahead and activate it. I've had people like try to ash me first the send, and I'm like, it's cost, I have to do it. So pretty much, even if Cherubini himself gets his effects negated, you will still get that Foolish of a level 3 monster. Himself or whatever monster you target, most like it would always be himself, but that attack boost doesn't really matter, because you will usually, most of the time, always will be linking him up for Bardiche. And now we're going to go ahead and get into more in-arc type stuff. 1 Arc Rebellion. I didn't make him an alt today because I honestly did not get a chance. If you get a chance to make Arc Rebellion, you're swinging for game, or it's a really, really dire situation and you're sitting here with no other options, so you have to just bring him out. Raiders Knight, just one. I only use him to make Arc Rebellion. But I mean, there is this little cheeky play that you can do with Raiders Knight. Instead of ranking up, you can rank down into another Break Sword, and then get another pop, and then special summon 2 more Phantom Knights from your graveyard, which is very, very nice and very cheeky. I have not done it yet because I am not that confident, and something might go wrong. But most of the times when you make Raiders Knight, you go into Arc Rebellion, excuse me. Arc Rebellion to go for game. And next up, stated before, the double. Actually, I'll put this one down here. The double Phantom Knights of Break Sword. Break Sword Break Sword's a godsend, honestly. Pop 1 card on my side of the field, detach, target 1, 2, pop them both. So even if the card on your opponent's side of the field leaves, it still destroys because of the effect text of Break Sword that says destroys them. So he'll still destroy himself, and you'll get that effect to bring back 2 Phantom Knights monsters as well. Most likely you'll be bringing back 2 level 3, so they will be level 4, although you are locked into dark monsters. But that doesn't really matter, because pretty much all these Succeed monsters we play are pretty much dark. for the most part. Actually, all the level 4s are. We got a really dark deck going on here. All right. One Gossip Shadow. This is my replacement for Dragoon. And I'm completely honest with you guys. Well, with Dragoon and Appaloosa, because I did not buy Appaloosa yet. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. Gossip Shadow puts in work in this deck, and it's absolutely amazing. Because everybody likes to Nibiru after you've made you've established your board, especially with Phantom Knights. I don't know why, but I made I had Bardiche on the board, and then 2 Fog Blades, and then Gossip Shadow. But I don't know why people always like to try Nibiru after you've already established your board. But pretty much what you do, you make Gossip Shadow before you make Bardiche, because as soon as you put Bardiche, they'll most likely be like, okay, Nibiru, Bardiche is in the graveyard, I don't have to worry about it. But if you Gossip Shadow beforehand, your opponent sits there like, oh man, I can't Nibiru them, which is really nice, even though it will definitely be more than 5 summons when you make Gossip Shadow. But they will always Nibiru you when I always get Nibiru when I bring out Bardiche. So that's why I started running Gossip Shadow, because in the middle of my combo, if I have the resources, usually I do have the resources, I can end up going into Gossip Shadow. And then if they try to Nibiru me, detach 2, we both get that draw, and if that draw is an extender of some sort or anything else I can work with, then I can usually end up going off into different plays, and I can usually end on the regular board with a Fogblade set and the Rake Up set, along with Dark Rebellion on the board, ready to exceed up into Dark Requiem, which is an amazing card until you get Kaiju'd. But it happens. Also, another weird choice for me, I got the 1 Dante. Just for, literally the Dante is here because of Dogmatica. I'm not gonna lie, because after the Maximus effect, I'm like, okay, send Dante, and then Dante gets me a Seer, which can be very, very useful for the Torn Scales discard cost, because once you do that, you can go ahead and get back Cherubini and then Foolish a card for free, which is nice. All right. Back to Link. So Unicorn and Phoenix, Nightmares, Unicorn and Phoenix, obviously standard, bounce and pop it back row, which is nice, very well needed, because all this popping going on is just amazing. These 2 are amazing. We got Requiem and Dark Rebellion. Dark Rebellion, you literally never use it. You just use Dark Rebellion to get into Requiem Dragon, and that's it. Like I've never attacked with Rebellion, anything else. All he is fodder for Dark Requiem, which is very nice. For my last, got 3 more in the extra deck. Here we go. Time Thief Redoer, Evil Soul Nightmare, and Leviair the Sea Dragon. Most of the time when I end up doing different plays and stuff, I usually don't go into these unless I have the resources and material, which is why I do run the 2 Stingraves, because aside from specially summoning itself as a level 4, if I use its graveyard effect, I can go ahead and banish it to special summon a Phantom Knights from hand as a level 4. So if I do end up with the correct amount of materials on the field, I can go ahead and end on either one of these 2. Depending on the situation, it might be him, and it might be him, just depending on the deck and what I'm playing against. But let's go ahead and clean all this up here. Scoop these up. But this is it. This is the deck I've been rolling with so far, and it has treated me very well. Aside from there are a few times where I do break, but it does happen. Sometimes you just draw your hand traps. Done it. I don't know how, but I've done it. But I love this deck, and I will play it till the day I die, or if I don't know if something happens. Maybe if Bardiche gets banned again, I might cry. But it is a very, very resilient deck with so many multiple different avenues that you could take. If something gets negated, then I can just go ahead and be like, okay, special, banish wing, special. But Nibiru can stop your plays, but Nibiru is not the end all be all for your plays, which is very, very nice because you can still play off of Nibiru. So if you get Nibiru, the token's there. You can literally keep extending if you have your graveyard full, which is very nice. But as I said before, this is one of my favorite decks to play, and I will make this deck competitive. I will make it top tier. I don't know how I'll make it top tier, although I refuse to use Dragoon. It'll be a very tough journey for me. But if you stuck it through all the way through this video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share with friends, that whole deal, so you can get more Phantom Knights action from me. I will call myself the self-proclaimed Phantom Knights Master. Anybody wants to challenge me, I will accept the challenge and play you with my Phantom Knights. But enough said. Thank you for watching this profile.